Good morning, folks. This is Todd Colburn of Cal Poly Pomona, and this little video is on mastering online courses. So on YouTube, there is, if we're talking about YouTube courses, there's a lot of content. Some of it is rather fun and rather nonsensical. Some of it's pretty inspirational. There's a lot of content around hobbies, and then there's content that's focused on educational subjects. We could classify the educational content into two rough categories: stuff that comprehensively covers a topic, like an engineering statics or structures course, and focused concepts on little tiny sub-subjects. These are going to be handled differently and are going to have different style of watching in order to master that. If we're talking about trying to master something as challenging as an engineering course online, here are some ideas to think about to get the most out of your time and investment. The first thing is to watch intently. With any engineering subject, these are pretty challenging subjects, even for a very smart individual. You have to systematically walk your mind through the concepts step by step by step. A lot of YouTube content is watched while you're watching TV, while you're doing something else, while you're driving your car. Even if we're watching it closely, we tend to let our attention ebb and wane as we watch. This is not good enough when you're trying to study engineering. These principles, you're going to have to pay attention to each step-by-step building block as your professor, teacher, or guide walks you through the critical concepts. So the first concept to think about is to watch intently. The next one is following a sequential approach. You really want to watch the videos in order. Hopefully, whatever site you're using has things organized so that you can quickly spot what is the next video. Maybe they're linked together, or maybe they're numbered in a way that makes that easy to follow. Now, while it's true that you can go and learn a number of subtopics of engineering on their own with the proper background, many subjects build on each other. So a sequential approach is very important. Next, you need to focus. As we said before, when you're watching intently, you've really got to focus and not multitask. If you try to do anything else, you will not pick up the depth of the concept. The next thing is to pause to consider. Use that pause button. You can't do this in a live lecture. There are a lot of benefits to a live lecture. There are some disbenefits to a video lecture. But one of the benefits of the video lecture is you can just hit pause. If you didn't quite catch what your professor is saying, pause, run the video back, watch it again. Pause, think about it, sketch on your notepad. So pause to consider, and its companion, replay to reinforce. So as you go through, you're watching intently. It goes a little too fast. You hit the pause button. You can't do that in a face-to-face class. And then you still are scratching your head. You run that mother back and watch that part again until you understand it. You're going to find that as soon as you get to that point where you didn't quite understand what was just said, as the video goes forward, your mind kind of stops working for a lot of us. It just freezes. It says, I didn't get something. I'm on slippery sand, and now I'm not even trying to move. So pausing, maybe replaying a little part of it, and thinking about it until you move forward can be a very healthy way to get your feet back planted with a little traction. Like when you're hitting the brakes and they start to spin, it's kind of like anti-lock brakes. That pause button and that rewind. Next, make sure you watch the video completely through. As I've been studying my video analytics, I'm appalled at the tiny percentage time that a lot of folks are using to watch the videos. You know, you can kind of get a flavor for what information is out there following that approach. You really can't learn anything that way. So if you're actually learning this for the first time, that will not be sufficient. Not only need to watch this sequentially, focus on the content, pause whenever necessary, replay any parts you need to watch that video all the way through. It's true that YouTubers, some of them are better than others. Some of the videos are easier to watch. Some are a lot drier. And some of the material, no matter how lively you make it, still is gonna drag out a little bit. But if you want to become an engineer, if you want to learn this material, you're gonna need to stick with it, watch that mother all the way through. The next one is to practice immediately. So often I have students come to my face-to-face lectures, they leave thinking, wow, I just learned so much. And then they come back and they're like, well, I tried to do the homework. I couldn't do any of it. I said, when did you do the homework? And it was like days later. So right when you leave class, right when you stop watching the video, it's very healthy to, if there's homework assigned with that video content, to go and work the problems while that's all fresh in your mind. You're going to find, even if you think you understand everything, you're going to hit snags when you actually have to do it for yourself. When you're doing those problems, you want to be careful not to get help from your friends too quickly, because if you get help too quickly, you won't actually be learning the material. A lot of us have to think things through and figure it out ourselves for that to really become ours. Next, after you've practiced or done whatever homework problem, go and rewatch the video. Oh, if there's no practice problems, if you're not in a formalized class, then any example problems in the video, go ahead and try and work them yourself. Jot down some notes and then try and work them. Okay. As soon as you're done, rewatch the video. Now you can kind of fast forward through parts of it. You're like, oh yeah, got this, got this, got this. Go, oh, this is the part I didn't understand. And then you rewatch that part. And subscribe. If you find a YouTube channel you really like, then subscribe so that you that lets your YouTuber know that you're interested in their content and encourages them and inspires them to go do more for you. It also keeps you appraised of their latest content and their updates. If you're going into engineering, you're going to need this stuff, not just now, not just to get through school, but in the future, especially if you go into, for example, into the subject that you're studying. So if you're a structures person, you're watching my videos and you intend to go into structures, you're going to want to stay connected with my material. Some of the stuff is decent, some of it could be considered good, and some of it has a lot of room for improvement. And I'm going to be working to improve that stuff. And as I improve it, you're going to want to be able to tag into that. And when you get into industry, you're going to think, ooh, I learned this. Where was that? Who did I hear that from? If you have my handbook, that can really help. But if you are subscribed, you can come back and take advantage of my latest content on that. Those are some ideas. Here they are again. Watch intently. Sequential approach. Watch those videos in order. Focus, don't multitask. Pause to reconsider as much as you need to. Replay to reinforce as needed. Watch that video all the way through. Practice the subject immediately with some kind of problems. Rewatch the video, or at least pieces of it, after you're done practicing, and subscribe for updates. Best of luck in engineering. Feel free to leave comments with your feedback or questions or ideas. I will try my best to answer those. Enjoy.